Witch Trials Weekly, Video 14, April the 15th to April the 21st, 1692. Confessions true and false.
Hello, and welcome to this installment of Witch Trials Weekly. On April 15th, 2 days after falling ill, John and Hannah Putnam's 2-month-old daughter died. He and his wife suspected Rebecca Nurse. They thought her specter killed the baby as revenge for John's gossip against her and her family. By the 16th, there were 2 new specters afflicting the girls, Bridget Bishop and the formerly afflicted Mary Warren. On the 18th, official complaints and warrants were issued against Giles Corey, Abigail Hobbs, Bridget Bishop, and Mary Warren. The following day, they were brought to the Ingersoll's Ordinary for examinations. Giles Corey was first, and when told to tell the truth about whether or not he was a witch, he responded, "I hope, though the goodness of God I shall. For that matter, I never had no hand in my life." All the girls testified against Corey except Elizabeth Hubbard, who was still struck silent, as she had been in the examinations the week prior. He denied everything, and even took back his things he had said before when testifying against his wife. If he moved his head or his hands, the girls would flinch. It was also in this examination that his comment about seeing Martha in the week was seen as prophecy rather than a promise of a husband to his wife. He was committed to jail. Abigail Hobbs was 14 when she started saying she sold her soul to the devil. In her examination, Abigail admitted to having made a covenant with the devil, but seemed repentant. She confessed to having hurt Mercy Lewis and Ann Putnam Jr. and said the devil would go pinch the girls for her without taking her spirit along. She said Goody Sarah Wilds hurt her stepmother, Deliverance Hobbs, but she never saw Sarah Wilds, only Sarah Good. She never attended the witch meetings, but had given the devil permission to go around in her shape. After a certain point in her confession, she was struck deaf, and the girls said the specters of Sarah Good and Sarah Osborne were jamming their fingers in her ears. They also said Sarah Good prevented her from speaking further. Not once during Abigail Hobbs' confession did the girls break into fits or become tormented by specters, perhaps because she never denied being a witch. With her confession, there was further evidence against all those who had said they were not witches. Some could argue she was an expert witness. As soon as Mary Warren entered the room, the girls all broke out into intense seizures, and only Elizabeth Hubbard could accuse her. Mary crumpled on the floor, and the other girls said it was the specter of Martha Corey and the Proctors who tried to prevent her confession. She cried out, "Oh, I am sorry for it, I am sorry for it," and then ceased trying to ask God for help. She was inconsolable and was taken away. She would be questioned again once she had calmed down. Bridget Bishop was next. She has been married 3 times, and her second husband had been abusive. She had been held for witchcraft in 1679, but was released. Upon the stand, she said, "I am innocent. I know nothing of it. I have done no witchcraft. I take all these people to witness that I am clear. I never saw these persons before, nor I never was in this place before. I am innocent as the child unborn." Every movement she made hurt the girls. Ann Putnam Jr. cried out, "She calls the devil her God." But Bridget refused to confess, saying, "I am not come here to say I'm a witch to take away my life." Upon being led away, Bridget told Samuel Gould she didn't feel bad for the girls, and she didn't know whether or not they were bewitched. Upon trying to question Mary Warren again in private, the magistrates didn't make much headway, because every time she would deny touching or signing the devil's book, she would convulse. On April 20th, however, when the magistrates visited her in Salem jail, Mary admitted to signing a book that John Proctor brought her, not knowing it was the devil's book she had signed. The specter of Deliverance Hobbs started to bother Abigail Williams. April 20th was also the day Ann Putnam Jr. was first visited by the specter of former Salem minister, Reverend George Burroughs. "Here is a minister come, what? Are ministers witches too? Whence come you? And what is your name? For I will complain of you, though you be a minister, if you be a wizard. Supposedly, his specter bragged of killing his first 2 wives and Reverend Deodat Lawson's wife and child. Reverend George Burroughs' specter also confessed that it was he, not the devil, who had recruited Abigail Hobbs. It was also on this day that Mercy Lewis was bothered by the specter of George Jacobs Sr., who hit her with his walking stick when she refused to sign his book. On April 21st, warrants were sworn out for Sarah Wilds, William and Deliverance Hobbs, Nehemiah Abbott Jr., Mary Esty, Edward and Sarah Bishop, and Mary English. Ephraim Wilds, son of Sarah Wilds, had to arrest Deliverance and William Hobbs. This is something Ephraim felt Deliverance would hold against him and use against his mother in her examination and trial.
This video was produced with special permission from the author, Marilyn K. Roach, and publisher, Cooper Square Press. The Salem Witch Trials, a day-by-day chronicle of a community under siege, covers the years 1692 to 1697 in detail. It also touches briefly on important and relevant events before and after this time. We are proud to carry all of Ms. Roach's books and publications in our museum store. To get a copy for your personal research and enjoyment, please visit www.salemwitchmuseum.com.